Good morning.
Good morning.
Welcome to
Welcome.
FYI. For your information, I'm Gerard
Yeah.
Fernandez alongside Sharon Duncan, joining you this morning to bring you credible information.
Yep.
As we always do,
For
letting
your
you
information
know
only.
what's going on in and around the country.
Don't
And
tell
guys,
nobody.
we are so happy for you to join us. It is Tuesday, the 24th
It is
of May,
already.
2022, you know. And I want to say yesterday, it slipped my mind. Most importantly, I want to say,
Tell us.
good luck to all the students that write in CSEC.
Yeah.
I know CSEC is going to be, this week is the majority of students are going to be starting this week. When there were a few, I believe, had exams before. But the majority of students are going to be writing CSEC this week. So I have to say, you know, good luck to all of you. Best wishes. Just be calm. Just sink into your memory. don't over stress them. I would say to the parents, you know, relax a little bit. But guys, how have you been? What are you doing? Let us know in the comment section. I see Gavin.
I don't think writing CSEC is so bad as going for the results. I don't know which is worse.
No, my daughter gets anxiety. Like she gets anxious very, very much so. So I have been, like I said last week, I made a decision not to ask her anything about the exam. If she pick up a book and do some touch up, that's up to her. If she doesn't, she doesn't. I know yesterday she was saying, you know, what do you think I should write on for this aspect of the social studies? You know, those social issues, political, regional. I said, what do you think? She said, I think I'm good with social. I said, well, you write on social. You know?
Go ahead and be great.
At this point in time,
you
know, just leave them alone. Like whatever they write on and however they do it. It's not the end of the world. Warren is joining us this morning from Manhattan.
Oh, wow.
You know, Warren gets around.
Frequent flyer. He's a traveler.
Warren gets around a whole lot. So good morning to Warren.
You know which part of Manhattan I like? The area of Trump Plaza. That little area there. You come out from what do you call it? Not the gardens. Their version of the national park. What do you call that area? My Lord. The big
I don't know.
Boy.
I do not know what they call it. So I can't help.
Warren, the area that you go and the recreational area there. What is it? I'm forgetting. It's right there.
I don't know.
In Manhattan. The recreational area there. Help us. You come out from there, you run around, you can walk around, you know, it's like the national park there, but in Manhattan, central Manhattan. You come out and then there is Trump Plaza watching on the one side there.
Okay.
That general area there is very, very nice.
Okay.
Yeah.
I don't know. I don't know exactly where that is.
What is the area called?
But you know, there's a lot of
I'm seeing it, but
there's a lot of good places to actually go when you're over
Central
there.
Park. Thank you.
But that's what I just asked you. If it's central.
Sorry. You see old age. Central Park. Sorry. Central. As soon as you come out on one side, there is Trump Plaza. That general area there. I like it because like every area in Central Park is so different. You walk around the corner, there's a little jazz thing happening. You go around a little bit more, some fundraiser, little organization got something happening. It's always something different around the bend.
There is, but I think one of the areas that I like is a little island. That was very nice. You know, that man-made island that they just decided to put there.
Yeah. And you know, one of the things on my bucket list was running in Central Park, and I got to do that a couple
nice.
But two years back on one of those trips. I got those bucket list thing. Like the last time I remember going to Cato and getting from the airstrip, what they call Cato International Airport. This is right here, folks. To the village is about a 3 mile, and they would walk from the airport to the village. Okay. And I took a good run, and I realized, you know what? Because Cato is so high, the altitude there is good for running.
Really?
Yeah. And there is whichever village is just off Cato, it's about a 12 mile. That's on my bucket list. To run from Cato to this neighboring place.
You're going to do it this year. Come on.
Yeah, I think so.
Yes.
So Central Park was one of the places on my bucket list, and I got to run it. It's about 6 miles around Central Park, which is, of course, is much bigger than the National Park. It's about just on a mile around the National Park if you're going to walk
just
around
it. Or just over? I don't know.
Just over. I think, no, just on the mile. It kind of loops into that mile. So, but Central Park, one lap around is about 6-point-something miles. So it's a good stretch. And it's always been on my bucket list. So run.
I don't think that's on my bucket list.
What's on your bucket list?
I don't think that's it. You know?
What's on your bucket list?
I wanted to do crazy, really crazy stuff.
Uh-huh.
Unbelievable. Trust me. You would not believe me of all the people. Sometimes I.
Let me sit with you for a second. Hold on. Let quote my stomach.
No, seriously, because when it comes
Mhm.
to doing stuff outdoor things, I want to do like stuff like zip lining, bungee jumping,
I know the bungee jumping, but I think zip lining.
the bungee jumping.
I can take on zip lining,
I was
but
contemplating.
that bungee jumping
I
part.
was contemplating, this whole skydiving, but then I scratched that one
Yeah, I
off.
scratching up bungee jumping too. The zip lining. Why you on bucket list? Why you on bucket list people? I think I will check on zip lining.
You're doing the bungee jumping.
That was the bungee jumping.
But I usually do it like over water, like most
I
people.
bungee jumping no way. I ain't bungee jumping no way. Right? I ain't bungee jumping no way. Right? Yep.
Yeah, but I scratch off the skydiving. Like when I read the amount of accidents that come from that. Nope. Well, I might, because I saw my cousin. My cousin did it recently. She did it because they do it with the instructor, well, the coach, whatever they call the person that actually goes and the person jumps with you, and that's what they do for a living. So people do this for a living, right? It's cool.
And jump out a plane.
Yeah.
Good for you.
I don't want ropes to fail on the bungee
jump. That's why I'm going out. That's why I'm going out there. Because I want the ropes to fail.
And even to do like the hot air balloon, like I had no issue with that until I was speaking to this guy, and he was telling me how his experience in the hot air balloon was so crazy. So when they got a certain height, he wasn't having it. He was ready to go, and he was like sitting at the bottom, and everybody was like laughing when he just was not having it. He didn't realize it goes so high.
Yeah. A high air balloon. Folks, how y'all doing this morning? Mark Nelson and Kurt Heidekin.
So Mark Dover says his bucket list is swim with shark.
Wow.
I'm different. That's different.
Good for you. You're a kid. I'm trying to put you like a kid, or you swimming, or you just like that with them boys.
Swim with sharks.
Swim with some sharks every day in this place.
You see, Don Cook said, try to write, you might like it. You see?
Go right ahead.
Sweden is here with us this morning.
David Hamilton out of Sweden, please and thank you.
Come on.
Yeah, I think we qualify now. International program. Welcome.
I'm telling you, right?
Welcome. Sweden's in the house. Yep. Good morning to all of you guys. Trust you guys are off to a running start. You're fired up. You're ready to go. We all having for breakfast. You pull up a cup of something with us, and you're gonna stay through the paces.
Beatrice said, we there.
Yep. We out here. We outside.
But I noted a comment earlier, joining from France. I think on Italy. So those two. I missed the names.
Shout out to all the folks viewing us so far. Alexis Williams, I see Nandi. Melissa's here. June Griffith, Savitri Zal, and Suzette Washington. All the folks, y'all come out. Let's get to it.
I think I smile a lot. Like I've been told that I smile.
You're a happy person?
No, I don't know if it's happiness altogether, right? But sometimes I think some situations are so laughable. Like some people would be going through pure hell, and I would be like a big smile on my face, because I am like, sometimes I think like we major in the minor, like we make major issues out of minor things, I think, and the major things we sort of like minimize on our input to do it. So sometimes it's just a little bit.
I tend to agree with you here.
But I just recall someone was telling me, you don't smile a lot. So yeah, I do. So,
tell them, don't come around, you funny.
I do. I see, which I throw back watching. So
it's good,
guys,
good.
You know, this is a very interesting this is an interesting week for us all, with a big holiday coming up. I see Leon is on. Leon just posed a question, but I didn't see what that is.
Let's get to the morning papers. A lot of stuff to go through.
Yes, most definitely.
Don't let me distract this morning.
Yes, I was trying to get Leon's comment, but it passed by so fast. I'm sorry about that.
Vashti Magnot, good to see you, Vashti. Say hello to Rupert, joining us from Canada. Say hello for us, please, Vashti. And again, I see Marilyn Thomas is here. Great enjoy. Colleen Roberts, Paul 63, Ron Spencer Top. Good to see all of you guys this morning. Thanks for joining FYI. Yep.
Good. So the first thing I want to talk about us in the morning paper is the Guyana Police Force looking for a skilled civilian to boost the IT department. And I found this really interesting because of the fact that I know how many persons were fired from the National Database Management Authority.
Yeah,
So I find it
Yeah.
strange that now the Guyana police force is out there calling in. But it says, and I just want to quote a bit from the report in there that we're taking out of Kaiser News. It said, with technology rapidly advancing almost every day, the Guyana Police Force is now opening its doors to citizens with no training in law enforcement, solely for the purpose of enhancing the capabilities of its information technology department. So I think it is very interesting, very important for persons out there that are skilled in IT also to see how far this goes. And a lot of times they say things, but they don't have the mechanisms in place to actually accommodate these things that they say.
Yeah. Let's say I go by
That's say you tired up by your
CID.
hair. What? We don't know about
You
it.
see a big back computer
No, but if it is right, a big back
with some
computer
green
now,
text, No,
floppy disk drive.
Who knows?
No, but if this is something that they are looking into, it's something that I would say that it's a good way for them to integrate technology. But I'm not going to speak from the Guyana Police Force standpoint when it comes to the training that should be accompanied by that, because that's not my area. I'm not going to interject there. But comment from I have my own IT background, so I know personally, and this is my take with this. I know personally of extremely skilled young people in information technology that has not gone through any formal training at all, but they can hold and wrap those trained personnels around their fingers when it comes to IT. And because of that, I think that we need to look at it very differently when it comes to who is trained in IT and who is not, and the equitable access to training that is out there for those persons altogether.
Good.
Very interesting for me that again,
Yep.
police force is announcing that altogether. But I know that we're going to be looking at most of the headlines that's in the paper. We are looking at in the content of today's discussion. But I also want us to if we can go into the morning brew. Is that okay?
Go ahead. Go ahead.
I see shared a little bit
Go ahead.
a little bit hesitant there. But guys, the conversation on monkeypox, I want to say that we give the information from day one. I believe, and I can say that we're the first program that actually brought the information out to you guys. And I want to say that it has been taken up a lot of space in media, local and international media right now. So
and rightly so, because it seems to be very pervasive.
That is correct.
I say by my dictionary from Austin, pervasive.
So,
check down your Tuesday.
on your Tuesday. You don't have to go by Austin's, but I'm going to try to do it before the week is out. So I want to go through some of the signs and symptoms, because I think it's very important that persons know what they're looking for. Because I noticed yesterday particularly, someone was being very skeptical as to how they should be moving, how serious this thing is and all of that.
I mean, I feel the same way. I can't like you.
So it says in humans, the symptoms of monkeypox are similar but milder than the symptoms of smallpox. Monkeypox begin with fever, headache, muscle ache, and exhaustion. They say the main difference between the symptoms of smallpox and monkeypox is that monkeypox causes the lymph nodes to swell, while the smallpox does not. So that's a big difference, right? The incubation period, and when you say incubation period, basically they're talking about the time from infection to when you start seeing symptoms. For monkeypox, is usually 7 to 14 days, but it can range from 5 to 21 days also, right? So like we're saying, it's fever, headache, muscle ache, backache, swollen lymph nodes, chills. And you would know that once you get in a fever, usually that could be accompanied by chills also. And you got an exhaustion, and there's this feeling of listlessness altogether that comes with it. And I think if you were to look at if it within the first to the third of the day, or this is sometimes longer, after the appearance of the fever, the patient develops a rash, often beginning on the face and then spreads to other parts of the body. So that's how it starts. I think that when they have all the studies show that monkeypox usually starts on the face. That's not good for me to hear
Interesting.
at all. You know, that's
Folks, I
not
hope you all
good.
taking note. A lot there. And you know, some of those symptoms you might even confuse with COVID.
Yeah, but that's one thing because when you talk about the fever, the chills, the exhaustion, and all of those things, you know,
But I get
there are a lot of similarities.
How it affects your skin would be the giveaway.
Yes, right. But importantly to know, this is the illness typically lasts for 2 to 4 weeks. So this in African monkeypox have been shown to cause death, as in many as 1 in 10 persons who contact the disease. But yet we're seeing more. It has been touted to be more mild.
Yeah,
And persons are not likely to lose their life. I think with the development of so much medicine and all of that, persons boost their immune system differently. So like all sicknesses, the more you're boosted against, the stronger your immune system is, the better it is for you to fight off any of these diseases. So,
I know what I heard. I heard this morning we were looking at some additional reporting on this, that the medicine that they have to fight smallpox works well in this case. And there has been an advisory that has been put out locally that suggests that if you are experiencing any of the symptoms, you should, of course, contact your nearest health authority.
That is correct. And a lot of times when it comes to these things, you know, we have to track the where they have been reported cases and all of that. And if you have been if you had traveled from those locations and then you're getting similar symptoms, you should go into the hospital immediately. But I want to note that one of the reports that I'm seeing coming out, it is NBC News. I'm seeing NBC News reporting that smallpox vaccines can protect against monkeypox. And it is also reporting that the US has 100 million doses of that vaccine stockpiled. So you know, there's a lot from me. There's
how
a lot.
How many doses we have? That's the word.
Well, you know, with all that
Frank overseas currently
said here, right? It's interesting that as we would know, smallpox. Growing up as a child, you would hear about all the devastation that was caused by smallpox altogether, and the fact that it is said to have been eradicated. However, then you're hearing that the US have 100 million doses of the smallpox vaccine, you know. But we know that when it comes to these specific viruses, that it has been known that a lot of developed countries in their labs would have these viruses still that have been. So 100 doses, 100 million.
An ailment, and whether the ailment is. But it's interesting. I wonder what we have. You know, what is our stockpile of monkeypox anecdote?
Yeah, well, the smallpox vaccine is what can protect against
what is ours? What is ours? Because I know Frank is overseas. I don't know if he gone to pay a visit to Al Maktoum, you know, to see if he can get some of that,
But interestingly enough, I want to mention that the fact that they're saying the smallpox vaccine can protect against monkeypox, it goes that who are the persons more vulnerable to the monkeypox virus, disease, however you put it. I'm not the medical personnel here. But what they are suggesting now, because you would know, I don't know how many persons, because once you have that scar on your arm, that's how persons know who have the smallpox vaccine. I didn't have it, like my children didn't have it, but my mother have it, and that whole generation that she is from, they have that vaccine, right? So they should not be at risk based on this reporting that is coming out, right? Like I said, I'm not a medical expert, but I'm just trying to get some context into that. But 100 million doses of that.
And run back the symptoms first. That should be useful to folks. Run back the symptoms first, what folks can look for.
Yeah.
Run them back first.
Good. So they're saying the symptoms, and we're talking about the symptoms here of the monkeypox, right? Signs and symptoms. It says the illness begins with fever, headache, muscle ache, backache, swollen lymph nodes, chills, and exhaustion. And the symptoms usually it starts between 7 to 14 days, but it can range between 5 to 21 days of you getting into contact with.
But some of that seem like a regular Tuesday to us. Exhaustion and
I'm taking this. I'm getting
like
this,
a regular Tuesday.
I'm getting this specifically off CDC Center for Disease Control and Prevention.
Thanks CDC for that.
So
because a lot of stuff happening closer in the region. You know, big things happening.
Well, the first thing that's happening in the region, you see, I see Mia Motley, as you were seeing her there, the woman herself named among Time magazine's world's 100 most influential people. Mia Motley, folks. And this is, I think,
Congrats to her. I hear Barrett Vex bad with this year. But I said Barrett Vex bad. Because he was hoping, from champion or she could go on to something. You only got in these smart awards given out, but the big ones like, elusive.
Sharon has been talking about this for quite some time now, and the fact that you would have said countless times that she has she has a very small country. However, when she's thinking and she's speaking, she doesn't limit herself to that area. She speaks very collectively at an international level.
And you won't hear me. It is always a broad discussion, kind of Obama-esque, if I dare say, to take something and really broaden it. You won't hear her talking about TNT falling apart, right? How as a region we progress. That is what you'll hear me and Marty talking about. How can we not be mendicants in our own country? And lots of regional leaders is a deficit we have. When our leadership speak, it's always the same malice and that kind of stuff you hear, and venom.
Actually, I think the major difference that I hear coming out of her, if I dare say, I'm using a man's terminology here. Man's your name calling. If I dare say, the difference that I see that she brings when it comes to speaking is that she never goes back. She seldom mentions elections and all of those things. She understands that there are processes of once that has concluded, you move forward, policy directions and the mechanisms in place to move forward. And she's not stuck in that phase of time. And I think that is a somewhat of a disease that we experience locally, that everything goes back to that. So there's no moving forward. There's no broader scope of idea and policy directives because persons are stuck in that phase. And Obama and more developed nations, they have that same ideology. I would say that they are not stuck. They know when they're done with that, they're done with it. They move forward.
And because,
they move forward.
U.S. has had some issues to deal with, what they call an insurgency. Is that what they call that? With the folks who will have stormed Capitol Hill. And there's going to be a real blotch in the history of the U.S. to have a sitting government have people responding that way. A sitting president in Donald Trump have people responding that way. But President Biden knows he still has to go and work with the Republicans. Right? At the end of the day, that's how you're going to move the country forward. That's how you're going to stay first world, and that's how you're going to stay as the leading democracy, because you have to work together, or else you can't eat your dinner. Pure and simple. But these guys here are stuck in a very, very partisan way. And when we come to talk about independence and one gang later on in the program, we can talk about some of that too. But we kind of stuck in that mode. While again, Mia Motley and those of our ilks can broaden that. And for the Times magazine, as reputable as they are, to pick up on that. Anybody who with 2 cents vision could have seen that. I was watching her recently at a forum with the US president, and I was looking at his reaction to her, his body language. I know how your boy Irfan like hugger people. That was the US president's reaction to her. He always had her by his side, right? He looks like he was always deferring to her in the room, for guidance or something like that. So you can tell that this is a woman who is going someplace. And you see, when is it time? When is it time? Is it time? And this is Mia Motley's time. All right? But look at it. Again, that broad thinking. Even though what people thought, some commentators right in Barbados thought, was a kind of a once-in-a-lifetime church seat win that would never happen again. All the commentators, even those on her side, thought that couldn't happen again. And to eke out that win, well, that wasn't eking out a win. That was a big win, right? To pull out that win a second time really set her apart, even that. And then she continually delivers in terms of her ideology and that kind of broad thinking for the region, consistently delivers.
I'm glad you said that for the region. It is whenever she speaks, it's never just, she doesn't speak about Barbados alone.
Yeah.
She sees the broader picture. She always put context, and she always
Yeah.
looks at the bigger picture. And that's why she's there. That's why
Yeah.
she's been.
You know, and we follow these issues a lot, and rarely you'd hear me talking about, oh, the last administration did this,
That's what I'm
the last
saying,
administration did that, and the last administration, and during the last election, she's past that. We've passed that moment.
Correct.
Always living in the present and in the future. How can we move forward?
Because it's been, I think the difference is that she sees not the need to present excuses to the people. Like every single thing you present an excuse to the people, you know, and she sees further than that. She's like, this is the issue, fix it and move forward.
Yeah.
And we here, we experience the total opposite. We experience, and as we have been experiencing for quite some time now, an administration that is in office that makes excuses, and the fallback excuse would always be to go back to that specific time, because there is no real answer to provide to how are we where we are right now, and what systems are being put in place to move forward, and so that we can proudly say that we are going places, because we can't, and that's the truth.
Compton says is a woman with a positive vision, and I dare say, you know, again, I always like to preface, you know, what I say by saying that we don't always agree, and we don't agree with the stance Mayor Martin took in our 2020 election, but you don't write every day as a leader.
Yeah.
Right? You don't write every day, but we have eyes to see, and this woman has true potential, right? And not more than potential. Her performance has been good for the people of Barbados. Her performance there, and if they didn't like her, they would have voted her out in the last election. They would have voted her out, but they gave her back courtesy, and she continually. The point I really wanted to make, even with courtesy, she's reaching out to the opposition there in a meaningful way. Again, to move the country forward. You can imagine if them guys had a 65-seat win here. Can you fathom that? If them guys behaving the way they behaving now, right, like gods among us, could you imagine if them Jagabats? I promise I won't say Jagabats anymore.
Yeah, you did promise.
If these guys had a 65-seat win, we'd have been walking on people. Who's y'all?
Yeah.
Right? We just get sent down from heaven to rule. Divine right of kings. That's how they would have been behaving. And you barely, you know, if you want to believe what came out of GCOM, barely scrape past. Barely scrape past. Right? And that's how divided this country is. Barely scrape past. And them guys behave like as though this Mayor Martin doing everything. And Mayor Martin's the one reaching out. Right? Them guys got to be living like tenants in their own country. Mayor Martin is the one brought. You can imagine some of them that get on the Times 100 list. Oh, Father. You have to carry them on what is called the thing? You carry them on that throne, lift them up and
fetch them.
Fetch them. Them by step walking. Right? Umbrella whole day, sheltering them.
Pharaoh is
but the higher Mayor goes, seems as the more humble she goes. Georgia, go right ahead. Respect and manners.
Yeah, a lot to be learned from how progressive leaders and first world countries operate, and the methods that they utilize thereafter an election, especially when we have been like 2 years past. You know, we're in 2022, our election was in 2020, but yet every single thing that the administration looks to give excuses for, they go back to election because they have no answers to provide.
And you know, again, Joe Biden could be the very same way. Could be the very same way. Oh, you remember that time on Capitol Hill?
Yeah.
Them boys stormed the place.
But it's like a thing of the past. It's never spoken about again. And we wonder why these worlds are considered like the you know, first world countries. These countries are listed in this category, and we are here. We have the opportunity, but even sometimes you go to the comments section,
I could see.
You see the same.
Yes, I could see Joe Biden saying to meet with Harry Reid is the minority leader, whoever he is. You know, but them boys on the other side. Where were you? You know, when them boys is storming, what did you say? You know, where were you?
But I missed the opportunity. With all of that said and done, we keep missing the mark as a country, and the opportunity, especially now. You know, the iron is hot.
Yeah.
Like if you do something wrong now, it's going to be devastating for the future. And we continue to see wrong being done every single day.
Yeah.
When it comes to inclusivity, it is most important at this phase in time, because our nation, there is nothing more, there can be nothing more necessary for countries to infiltrate and to get their own way and get the cream of the crop if we are not on a united front with a lot of these policy directions that we're going in. As it is right now, people are coming in, large companies are coming in, everybody is just having the best of it all together, because we have an administration in place that believes to themselves that they are above critique, they are above inclusivity, they are above any requirements of good governance. They could just go out there and do what they want. So they are missing the mark every single step.
And that is why people in the Caribbean must laugh at us, because when Jack Joe they're parading himself.
You imagine if Mia had these resources?
When Jack Joe they're parading himself as being this visionary, they must see what she laugh. Right? Because in the wider community, we know Jack Joe name. In the wider world, right? And when those Caribbean leaders sit down there and they see this whole puppet show, they're just saying, look, Medvedev and Putin here. You think they don't understand what's happening? You think they don't read these cases? Term and all of that? You think they don't know what is going on? But you know what, I dare say this, and for viewers, Irfan Ali has the potential to be a great installed president. He has that potential to be a great installed president.
I need to hear the rationale.
Right? But he has got to divorce himself. You can't govern worse than we've been governed right now. You can't. So any step away from this got to be something positive. And all of that is happening is advice to Jack Joe. Right? Jack Joe went up to IFLAT yesterday to tell them, people, we lie to y'all. IFLAT closing, but take a 250,000 grand. For the lie that we tell y'all, right? Anything you could do different from what Jack Joe's advising could be a step in the right direction. As a matter of fact, there's an editorial in Sabbath News this morning. I commend it to you guys. I haven't read it in full, but it said that no other president in the history of this country has come to prominence so fast on the global stage, attracting world leaders and so on, like Irfan Ali. And it's not because of Irfan Ali of himself.
Of course not.
Right? Irfan Ali, look, you got to be me Motley to make the time to 100 list with all the resources we got to know me is a boss.
Yeah.
They ain't got oil like we just find oil. They ain't got money like we got money. But Mia Motley has stood out from the pack by sheer wit, intelligence, brilliance, right? Irfan got money, right? Which leads me to remember what Aristotle Onassis says. As Aristotle was a businessman, Aristotle Onassis was a businessman and tycoon, I think, in oil and so on. Aristotle Onassis is the fellow who married Jackie Kennedy after her husband was shot, the famous president in the US. When she remarried, she married Aristotle Onassis. And Aristotle Onassis says that money don't buy class. Money can't buy class. He was a wealthy man. So when he said it, I believe him. He said, don't buy class. What money does is buy tolerance.
Yes.
Right? You got a lot of people in this country with money, but they ain't get class.
Yeah, people tolerate that.
Mia Motley has class. And when Mia Motley can take a mic, and you see those people go up there and they speak extemporaneously on the vision for the region and what we're doing in our country. That woman knows every facet of the Barbadian country. She could talk about any aspect of it brilliantly, without notes, without picking corn. That is what she brings to it. The office didn't give her that. She hasn't been in power for 12 years, for 23 years. But in the short space of time that she's been here, look at the image and the mark in that short. If you give me 12 years in this region, right, Mia could make a tremendous difference and really and truly put the Caribbean on the map of this world where it belongs. But that's the difference. You're going to be narrow-minded? Is them boys? Or are we truly going to be one Guyana? That's the point I'm making. Irfan Ali has the potential of being a great installed president, right? But all the advice he's been listening to is the wrong advice. He could have, I can see Irfan Ali approaching the opposition better than they are, and standing out from the pack. Right? But he got Jagger in the ears telling you nonsense all the time. And so he will never rise above the level that Jagger is. And Jagger is the one-eye man that is king in blind man kingdom. While Mia Motley got 2020 vision. Seeing the future and say if we do something different, you understand me? Like the anthem for the West Indies as one said, you know? We're a divided world that don't need islands no more. Right? If we don't put ourselves on the map and stand out, we run the risk of doing what Clive Thomas said. Professor Clive Thomas, that's what it was called. Professor Clive Thomas. We're going to fall off the map. We ain't driving into the future in this country. We're reversing. Well, driving is reversing too. Reverse is driving. But we ain't going forward. We're reversing into the future by looking back. Oh, what them boys do 2020. Oh, what them boys do when they went in. Oh, what them boys do. Well, me are looking forward. How do I position Barbados, a little 2x4, on the international stage, which is what Mia is doing. Christian Alanpour went to Barbados to interview Mia. Then fly Mia out to the States. That's the difference.
Yeah, because she,
right?
that's what
Bloomberg interviewed Jagger the other day. They do it virtually.
People didn't know.
People didn't even know. It's something I learned for the first time. Nobody see it. Nobody hear. Nobody.
Trust me.
That's the difference.
I follow.
Again, everyone has the opportunity to be a great installed president, right? But
he has the, I think he has the platform.
Yes.
Let me just I think that he has the platform. He has been presented with all that is necessary. He has been given it on a silver platter. He just went in there.
Yeah.
The oil finds and all of those things. It is right there in front of him. He's
first thing you gotta do is fight Jagger.
He is standing in front of it all. I don't know if it, but when it comes to that is what you could carry the horse to the water, but you can't make them drink.
You gotta pick up the pace. You gotta push your body. It's a big body, but you gotta push it
before the water.
Yeah.
It's whether or not he has what it takes to
you
drink.
You gotta pick up the pace. You gotta pick up the pace because we're falling behind with all the riches that we got. You understand me? With everything that we got, he's not only times 100 influentialist. And Mia was there a short time.
Yeah.
Very short. Mia called that election early in her first term. So she didn't start only for, it wasn't 4 years in or 3 years in.
That is true.
Right?
That is
she
true.
called that election early, dominated one more time. She's been here a very short time.
But
look what she has done.
She commands
right? 2 years in. And if we didn't have I, nobody didn't know her for name.
Yep.
So don't come around with funny.
But where are we right now? And when we're looking at where we are right now.
I think that's what
no, I know. Where are we right now? And I noted, I'm not going to pass the comment from Marlon that was in the comment section there a few moments ago that says that the Linden Hospital complex was in blackout whole night last night.
That's where we're there.
Right, that's where we are.
That's where we
are.
Right,
when we are right? Flooded with all the resources. And all of that.
Children and parents protesting for amenities at Tuckville.
Yeah.
Right? And Priya saying, oh, it's them opposition people. Oh, God, let's be there.
Yeah. I think that needs to be called out. I think that particularly needs to be called out. And you just made a point that they always go back to then and now, you know. And when I noted the Ministry of Education actually put out a press release. So we're going to get to that. But I believe that it's going to go right back to what you were saying, that they always come back then, what is then, and
reversing into the future.
It's always like
reversing.
That. But as we move forward,
we're still in the region, believe it or not.
At the regional
still
level,
in the region. Yep.
Cheryl was very passionate about that just now. So to calm him down a little bit,
a
little bit of different.
I think this can do the trick.
I see Shensia was named as Connecticut's Sun 2022 music ambassador, and I have to say she has been doing her thing, you know,
in her own way,
you know.
It was lick for me. It was lick.
I think that I don't know about that one. Listen, there's certain music I don't listen to. Period. I don't think
Shansi's a good-looking woman though. Outside of the, you know, if you don't like her music or not, she's a good. Let us agree on that, right? Is the edges to meet them? Good looking, big.
I haven't noticed any of those things. But yeah, congratulations to her and all of the other artists, Caribbean artists that has been performing and singing to their audience all together. So definitely we always commend
fans in there. But look, sorry now. Some y'all, they're good.
Yes, my goodness. Like
Good.
like I saw the video of you listen.
I
And
must
we
say.
was still being in the region, right? It says the lion bites off man's finger at the Jamaica Zoo.
Yeah.
And as you can see there, his mouth is open, screaming at the
What
lion.
is your hand doing in the lion's mouth?
He was provoking the lion. For
Jesus.
folks who saw the video, I'm sorry we
Lord
don't
have
have
his
it up right
mercy.
now. But he was provoking the lion. He was literally pushing his entire hand and like hitting at the lion and stuff, so that the lion just waited
Oh, whole
of
finger.
that.
Lord have his
And when
mercy.
he pulled away his hand, it was the most graphic video to look at. But it just goes to show, and I think that I'm sure that they have some sort of other barriers in place, but a
What
lot
are
of
you doing
persons were too
there?
close. Many people were close to the cage, and I think that needs to be reviewed
What is
altogether.
he doing there? Y'all say good.
You know, when they're saying that when you put in safety, I always learn that. I don't
My
know. I
Lord.
can't remember where I was told this, but I was always told, Sharon, that when you are putting safety measures in place for anything, you have to put it in place with the knowledge that people just generally operate
Ugly.
stupid.
Ugly.
Right? So you have to.
You must say
I think my brother said you have to stupid proof the system.
Stupid proof it. He's either Jagabat or a trench crop. Why do you know?
You have to
Why are you putting your hands there? It's
stupid
like,
proof it
why would you
because
do that?
you
Huh?
see why
Huh?
would your hand be in there? Like,
Yeah.
I think that was
Leon
just,
Gobert is one that will put his hand there,
I don't know. I think Leon has
Pack
more
with
sense
people.
than that.
Grandpa, what are you doing there? I think
Seymour
Seymour George
said-
got it. Seymour, you got it.
Finger licking.
Seymour got it. Right? Seymour got it.
But you have to be very careful. I don't play with those things.
Yeah.
Period. When it comes to, I go to even here at the zoo locally, and when I go there, there are barriers in place, and I stay the course. I say, don't feed the monkeys. You don't feed the monkeys.
Yeah.
So
Take their advice. Take the stupid advice.
I don't want to know what would happen if
What are you doing there?
he was pushing his hands in. He was, but then he was pulling back, but the lion did not let go. The lion did not let go. But when you could literally see the finger being ripped off and taken away by the lion.
Oh my
Yeah,
Lord.
it was horrible.
Oh.
It was a horrible piece of footage with him screaming like. He
Lord
didn't
have-
expect that to happen.
He didn't expect that. This is cool event, man. Are you flat? You didn't expect it?
I think the zoo there would have to move forward with stupid proof in it, because it made me think about a more serious thing to think about is that whether or not they have a mechanism in place that safeguards children from venturing to that point, because a child, that could have been a child's entire hand, but his ignorance is a different level. So
Yeah, the different. It's clearly different, right? Close to home.
yes,
Close to, believe it or not, guys, in a couple days, we are 56. We big.
yes,
We big. We not connect sometimes. Right? We big. 56.
we have come
Right?
quite.
Happy Independence, guys. Let me tell you, already, we don't run with the pack. Happy Independence. One people, we motto. One nation, one destiny. We know about the other one.
Yes, one people, one nation, one destiny.
And I told the guys, put it up so we can remember what the motto is. Because we hear now kind of fancy thing that they even practicing. This is our motto. It's a beautiful one. We are one people, one nation, one destiny. Happy 56th Independence Week is coming up on Thursday. Thursday is the holiday.
That is correct.
Right?
That is
Them
correct,
boys saying,
guys.
I even want to say it here because I don't want to waste my time. It's one something. No. This motto got no fourth aspect of it. Right? One people, one nation, one nation. This motto served me good for about 54 years. Suddenly, them boys said, well, we don't like it. It look a little thing. We don't know if they got it in the text. They're in green or yellow or what, but we like it. We want our own red motto. Madness. Happy 56th Independence. One people, one nation, one. The holiday is Thursday, but we like do things different. We start early.
That is correct.
We don't run with the pack.
Well, it's so much for us to celebrate. But I think when we're looking at
In the face of that,
when we're looking at these specific milestones, we need to reflect on where we came from, and how we got to where we are today. That is most important for us to be looking at. And I believe with that said and done, it is most disturbing that we were reporting from yesterday on affiliate programs that the National Library had revoked the permission for the Burnham Foundation Independence exhibition. And I think with everything that is being said by the PVP administration, with every single thing that they say, there is no excuse that they can bring for this particular action. We are here, we are heading towards Independence Day. We are, as a people, we need to reflect on where we come, where we came, right? And in the face of all of that, what are we faced with? We are faced with the blatant, corrupt, dictatorial regime that is in office, that they would seek to revoke permission for the Burnham Foundation to mount the Independence exhibition.
This is what you call wicked, stinking dirty. Is the epitome of that. Right? That is it. Like, listen, we don't have to agree on the legacy of somebody. We don't have to agree with that. We don't have to agree in which way they led when they were with us or
we
former
have to
president.
Acknowledge the contributions.
It happened.
We have to acknowledge the contributions.
It happened. Right? And I heard my pastor said years ago, said, Burnham did a long time, but they're still trying to bury him. Yeah. They're a long time, but them boys still trying to bury him. Right? Still trying. His contributions are there. Yeah, there, and you can't say he didn't know what he was doing.
This is how bad, we really need to reflect on whether or not we really need to reflect on our own selves and how we look at things, and to actually map out where we're heading with that mentality altogether. We were just speaking about the fact of mere Martin. We were making a distinction with first world countries, more developed countries, and how they operate and all of that. It will never happen in a developed nation. It will never happen. That action would never happen there. Those actions reeked of dictatorial nations. That's what it is. And there is no excuse for it. If you want to label yourself as being democratic, if you want to say that you're positioning yourself to move towards this pathway of great development altogether, that is not an action that reflects that at all. This is a regressive, dictatorial, corrupt altogether.
And then they want to talk about one Guyana and inclusivity.
It is most ridiculous. It is most ridiculous.
I wonder when our diplomatic corps look at issues like that, how they think about this. Look these people.
Look at them. Look at the listen.
If 56 years, and that's what we got for sure. Right? You don't want Burnham, an event to honor Burnham at the National Library. So you can call Miss King and you can tell she cancel a thing or your job. Right? Because don't tell me the library just realized they had an event the same time, the same day.
Not an event, they said they need a space.
That's what I'm saying. But that's something to do.
Yeah, they need a space.
It's madness. And you don't come and talk. The folks who are supportive of this regime gotta be bold enough to say, this one wrong.
Yeah, they should.
Right? This one wrong. This one is wrong. But do you have the courage to do that? Because it's you all who got to hold them to a higher standard than the rest of us. This one wrong.
This is one of the issues that you can highlight as a startling example of where we are as a country.
Yeah.
Right. This is one of them that you have to mount right at the top there. That this is a startling example of the division in our country and who is pushing that division in our country altogether. When we are approaching independence, this is something that we should be celebrating as a country.
Correct.
We have come a long way. Persons worked to get us to where we are today. But instead of all of that, they refuse to let that go forward because they believe that they are so powerful that they probably are seeking to rewrite history in our country altogether. But that cannot be
they got a lot of writing to do.
Accepted at all. They can't do it.
They got a lot of writing to do.
We have seen so many. Listen, I have read a lot of the history books. Growing up as a child, you're required to read history even at the primary and secondary school levels. And I have to say, when you actually get down to the literature to see what we were back then to where we are, and the efforts made by persons like LFS Barnum, Chedi Jagan, you cannot
And you can
help
say
but
that.
recognize
You can say
that
that
they
without
have
feeling
contributed.
a sense of betrayal.
Exactly.
You can say that
have
Cherry did a
to.
couple of things. I am sad that Cherry didn't have a chance to really see more of his legacy, more of his ideology come to fruition. I'm sorry, but they don't even remember Cherry now.
They don't. They have
Right? We
stepped
probably
away.
talking Cherry more in this program here than they talk about Cherry in the last 2 years.
Do. That's
Right?
not probably we do. We
Right?
speak about it more because we can say that we can acknowledge that these persons did their work when they have done their work in their time.
And I always say,
right?
part of the reason, one of the reasons that I admire Cherry Jagan, I can say that and I feel no sense of betrayal. One of the things I admire about Cherry Jagan, that man spent 28 years in opposition. He didn't flinch a day. But see, he take buyout or sell out. And we got some jagabats. We know. I see y'all smiling up at these boys and taking out photographs when they go in and lock off Burnham recognition event and, celebrating, the life and times of
I believe the
Burnham.
you believe in the need to give
Wicked.
those kudos.
You the jagabats too? Don't come around with funny. Go in and smile up at them. 28 years, the man spent opposition. Some of y'all can't even spend 28 months. 28 days, 28 years, he was unflinching with his global world order and the other ideologies that he had. Unflinching, right or wrong. Right? The historians can decide that. Me going to argue with you all about communism by the efflux of time. Some of these ideas are defeated. People once thought the world was flat and where we there now. If you walk too far, you're going to fall off the edge. Jagabats and trench crappers. But look what is happening now. And you can say, Burnham had his contribution. He wasn't a perfect man. Perhaps far from it. I don't know. Far from it. But to just recognize. We invite you to come and recognize it. Come if you want to come. Don't come if you want to come. What a beautiful sight it would have been. In that exhibition. If Irfan Ali wanted to distinguish himself as the best installed president we ever had, to go to the exhibition. Walk around, be photographed, looking at the wall. And you talking about one Guyana?
Where is his input right now? As the person sitting in the seat with the executive power, what are you saying right now to this matter? Irfan Ali, what are you saying right now? That is the question now. What is your action towards this? But then it goes back to what you're saying.
Income towards it with one Guyana.
No, but it goes back to what you were saying. It goes back to what you were saying that he doesn't wield that power and authority himself to overturn that because it didn't come from him. It didn't come from him. Let's not mistake that.
Somebody can call the National Library
didn't come from
and tell them.
And he doesn't have the power to
block the
overturn
event.
it. He doesn't have that power.
Right? To rescind the permission. If there's no wickedness, folks support them, right? Then what is wickedness? Right? You can be able to say Cherry made contributions. Well, Sam Hines wasn't given the latitude and the space. So we can't even have an intelligent discussion about Sam Hines' contribution as president in the little short time he had. Right? Arthur Chung, pretty much the same. Jack Dio, whether you love the fact that what he did or not, he was president. If you want a foundation or library, that's your business. You have an event someplace or not, it's your business. You have to take over the whole Red House. Right? That's what you want. Let me go down the road. But to try to stifle the recognition of somebody, it's madness. If you have people who support and recognize that, let them go down the road. But it's wickedness, and that is what gets to me. Because it's like they go out of their way to be nasty. They go out of their way to be nasty. Right? And then all of a sudden, because of pressure, sending invitations. Well, don't send me no damn invitation and you're all wicked and nasty like that. When your actions change. Maybe. Don't send me no invitations. I'm not coming to anything y'all got.
I think
Shucks.
one of the things for us to acknowledge at this point is the fact that Guyana gained independence, on the 26th of May 1966 under the Forbes Burnham led PNC government. That's what they want.
We gotta be broader than we are. We have
That's
to.
what they want to erase.
One of the things I want to see in my lifetime, hopefully, we must have a fixed place, office for the leader of the opposition.
Yeah.
A fixed place. This itinerant office is madness, and we got to solve that. But everybody thinks me giving them no room, right, to be better and to be great. That's wickedness. If we don't leave this place a little better than we
I
find
call
it,
plain stupid.
what's the point?
I call it plain stupid, and I say that I have no apologies for how I look at those things right now. Like I can see, like I can look and I can say that
56.
We came from a lot, and we are at the place right now that is not okay for you to just say, oh well, this is the way it was ordered. No, this is now. This is 2022. What are you doing now to change it? Where are you headed? What direction are you headed for? No. It is not okay for you to starve opposition of resources or because it was done all the time. No, that is not acceptable, right? Don't tell me what used to happen before I was born. I'm concerned with what's happening now because I'm here now, right? My children would not be concerned with what happened before I was born. They'll be concerned about how it is done
56.
as we move forward.
Let me operate,
right?
sir.
That's how it is. That's how it is. You hear it that I have to say again. Developed countries don't go back and say, oh well, because it was like this, 60 years ago that we're gonna continue. No, then you are stuck, and your mentality, your ideologies are stuck in a time lapse that you need to get out of. Because if you don't get out of it, the country will not be able to go forward. And countries, large international organization, they are going to come and they're going to take the cream of the crop because we are not putting ourselves and positioning ourselves in the for that space altogether. That is available. 56, it's right there being presented to us, but
let
we
me grow up a little
put
bit
ourselves in order.
Right? You can't cock up your foot and back ball every day. Right? Let me grow up a little bit and manage this country to the benefit of all. Please and thank you. 56, and this is how we operating. You're going to stifle an event on a former president. That is so myopic. You understand why me on the 100 list? And them boys would never forget, on the 100 list? How you going to get world recognition like that for that small thinking? That small thing, again, how big is Barbados, folks? Remember, I always get it wrong. Is it 166 square miles? 666?
I think Brian Soka is saying, remember that Burnham and Chetty was in the same party. But they don't want to.
No, they won't admit that.
They don't want people
They won't admit it's Burnham started PPP.
All right, they don't.
Right? Look, story now. They would never want to admit Burnham started PPP.
Man, Sharon, you want people to get mentally distressed.
I want to admit that we 56 anniversary Burnham started PPP and left y'all with that. Right? You want to admit that? Right? 439 square kilometers. Right? That is the landmass of Barbados. But again, mere thinking is 83,000. Right? While we is 83,000, but we thinking is 436 square kilometers thinking going to shut down the event. Right? It's 436 square kilometers thinking going to give me the jumbie board. That's the madness to be there.
Margaret says Sharon want to strain the brain. What did you just say about Burnham and the PPP, Sharon?
Yes, Burnham, the PPP. Y'all want to admit that? Right? Catch Jack when he's drunk. You can hear story talk. They know that. Right? Burnham in that party is a lot of their godfather. A lot of the godfather. You check the christening thing, you can see godfather, Forbes Burnham. You want to admit that? Right? Yeah, you know, see, what's thing? Look, you bring, what do you call it? The thing that's checked the genealogy. Right? You can see some people taking blood transfusion when they realize they mix with black people. Jesus. Yeah? You can see story, people start slitting their wrists to drain themselves out. Right? Let's see is Burnham stepchildren in the party. Right there.
Oh, goodness.
Right? Burnham started the whole PPP. And y'all are fighting who is this and who is that.
I think we really need
Don't
to.
come around
I
20
think we
56.
really need to. I think we really need to get our history, and to let young people especially understand and those aspects of our history.
Mhm.
The fact that Chetty and Burnham came from the same political
Yeah.
party and all of that.
Yeah.
I think we take it for granted that we have the knowledge and that we believe because of that a lot of the young people understand that, and they don't, because there have been efforts in place as the one that we're discussing right now to erase that out of the minds of persons altogether, so that they believe that this division is so brutal and blatant, and you're going so far back and all of that. But we need to really make sure that our children and their children have the resources at hand, so that they would have a clear picture of where we started as a country, to understand where we are and to understand what is necessary to make sure that
and where we started was Burnham forming the PPP. And then he said, Chelly, you take it, you fight it, let me go along the road.
Let's go down the road.
I can go and still land by my foot. I like a cat. I got 9 lives and go and still land on my foot. However they drop me, I can land on my foot. I go and start the thing, and that happened.
And here we are.
Burnham started the PPP. Right? I can see some of them tearing up the party car this morning. So, never know this. You see? Burnham started the PPP and left y'all. Bequeathed a legacy. And just like the Linden Suicide Highway, anything the man started is last long. Y'all see that?
The Demerara Harbor Bridge.
Harbor Bridge still stand up like the PPP. All these years, Burnham started.
Yep. Burnham. Believe it or not, the comment section is lit when it comes to this discussion this morning, because it has to be, those things have to, it has to be said all together. And I want to say one thing about Sharon Duncan, that if you don't already know, he just doesn't buy books for buying them sake. He reads extensively.
You don't buy books for decoration like them, but
he reads extensively.
We don't buy books for decoration. Right? So congrats when y'all celebrating, we got really be paying tribute to.
Correct.
Moving on though, and another issue. This one here is serious now, it's a little funny. Right? This one here is serious, still a little funny.
Okay.
The DPP's office, the DPP has assured the public that it will remain apolitical and devoid of prejudices.
Okay.
But what came next is what to me is a little laughable, because DPP said that she will not be bullied. When the DPP says she will not be bullied, I don't know if it's Adrian Sanders. She's trying to share that. Because twice in the recent past, Adrian Sanders had to upbraid the DPP. So I don't know. And then Sabbath News took a swipe at the DPP recently in one of the caricatures, the politics, the cartoon, what do you call it? The thing in the papers there. The caricature took a swipe at her. But I think it was Adrian Sanders in particular, because Adrian Sanders managed the DPP the other day. And these many days later on, it's like when you get beat up at school, or you really don't want to fight at school, you say, hold my shot. This is the DPP right now. Right? I will not be bullied. This is hold my shot. Right? Adrian Sanders has said what he has said already.
And what has been said.
You are a minister of justice. You got to be measured in your statements. I ain't right now, should I be measured? I will not be bullied. Right? When I hear the DPP say but not be bullied, it's like Azruddin Muhammad saying, this thing too expensive. It's kind of like, I don't know if it's the same, equation. Right? I will not be bullied. The DPP, who can bully the DPP? Like, really and truly.
But who is attempting to?
It got to be somebody higher. I don't know, somebody of equal stature. So the only thing comes to mind is Adrian Sanders, because I see...
It's not you, Sharon. It's not you.
I know it's not me. It can't be me.
You may be surprised.
It can't be me. The only thing I can see coming to mind is Adrian Sanders. Will that be done recently in the CCJ? Because both times, the first instance is when they say, I can't see the DPP office instructing a court, right? Which is what the magistrate in my matter asked the team on the other side the other day. But what authority you prosecuting this matter? Folks, I wish they would live stream my case. It's lapsed from the time the hearing start, till the next time. I don't know if I should be talking about it, but I saw Nigel Hughes showing up for my case the other day.
I don't think you should.
Himself. And Nigel Hughes asking, saying, this fella here being charged under the wrong section. Right? But like he didn't take a hint, the guy on the other side. So He said, "I sure the magistrate can guide you." The magistrate said, "Well, I have some concerns of my own." You know, I sit back here, all I thinking, "Oh God, this thing should be live. This thing should be live. This is page per view. This thing should be live." You know, everything live, it didn't happen. And then the magistrate said, in who authority you prosecuted this one?" Oh, Father, this thing is laughable. So they had to get something called a fiat. So the guy goes, they say, "Come back in 2 weeks, Duncan." I said, I live out. I die there. 2 weeks later, we come back. He come with a letter now. The magistrate said, "Well, now you have good standing." Right? So he ready to go. Magistrate said, "Well, now you got to go file back all them papers. Because when you file them before, you didn't have standing." I said, "Well, look, story. Oh, Father.
I think
you know, that lawyer for the other team could say, "I'm being bullied right now. I will not be intimidated." DVP says she will not be intimidated.
The law is what it is.
Interesting,
That's
boy.
what
Interesting.
I've learned over time.
So
the law is what it is.
I can say on the DVP's behalf.
Yeah.
I can say in the DP's defense, Adrian Sanders breaks up a little bit. This constant assault on the office of DPP making this lady look bad. She's not taking it well. This is emotional distress, among other things. Ease up. You are Minister of Justice. Do we have that?
Adrian Sanders would say, can come back and say, you know, I don't come looking for you. I look at cases that come before me.
He says, you are a Minister of Justice. You have to be measured. But like, I think we have that. Could be, yeah. Let's run it one time. I think it's this she was talking about. This is my opinion, right? This is my opinion.
And the best interest of the child.
Do we have
and ask the court that the parents
I think it was this.
to give to not interfere with the sentence of the Court of Appeal, because it was just given the heinous nature of the commission of this offense by no less of a person than the mother of a child and her lover, and a lover who attempted to abuse that child too. And this is a heinous case, and the society looks towards the court to give a sentence that.
Miss Ali, you are a Minister of Justice. You are the Director of Public Prosecutions in Guyana, so that your statements have to be very measured and careful. How can you be saying that that small sexually assaulted the deceased? He was convicted of that. There was an allegation and then it was withdrawn. And then there was another allegation and it was withdrawn again.
No, please, Your Honor, it wasn't withdrawn the second time.
But even so, it's an allegation. It hasn't been an allegation that has been tested. So you can't make definitive statements about something like that. You could have a suspicion. But a suspicion is one thing. To make a definitive statement and to urge a court to act on the basis of that definitive statement, you can't do that.
Yeah. So, Justice Adrian Sanders, please stop intimidating the DPP. It's the second time in about a month I see you've done it. Please, she's not handling it well. And she's come out with a very general statement. She's being intimidated. She will not be intimidated. But that has not been tested equally, these intimidations, So it remains to be seen. Please, let us not intimidate the DPP, Justice Adrian Sanders, please.
But I think with all that has been said, she did make a statement there when in the clip that you said, saying that the society looks to the court, and that is so. And I think if she moves forward with that knowledge, right, she's going to do a lot of things differently, because if she's looking to how the society looks to the court, the society is also looking for fairness, the society is also looking for the law to be handled in a manner that is perceived to be unbiased and all of that. So all of that, those needs to be taken into consideration when looking at that.
Lastly, folks, before we get out of here, we've been following the issue at Tugville schools. This is the primary and secondary, Tugville primary and secondary, with the shocking issues there. Literally, they're being shocked. Or they were being shocked because, we were out there lending our support in front of the Ministry of Education yesterday, 26 breakdown, where parents and students were protesting. That's what we come to in this country, protesting. And they were subsequently invited to a meeting, and we're learning that, the problems are going to be fixed, and we're happy about that. We're happy about that.
Well, what I can say about that particularly is that I noted, let me start from that point. I noted that the Ministry of Education has put out a press release. They had put that out yesterday, basically highlighting the issues which have been fixed, right? And they listed, I think they listed quite a few, probably around 12 to 15 issues that was there. But I want to also note that one of the things that they did this again. And they try to go back to what the modus operandi is for everything. That, it didn't start under us. It didn't start under us. It didn't start under us. And it was most despicable, I have to
nauseating.
Say. Right? For the Ministry of Education to seek to go down that route.
So, but you left it 2 years in.
Right.
They left it.
Yeah, and they try to say that based on investigations, which investigations only God knows, the investigation that they had at Freedom House, basically they realized that there was issues since way back when, right? However, the issue with someone being shocked was recent. Let's start from there. They, instead of actually going and dealing with it in a very constructive way, they went to say that was a lie. The woman was lying, that she was never shocked. We have heard, I think it was Randy yesterday during the podcast, said that the PS actually went and said that, nobody could get shocked here. So I was wondering if the PS was a certified electrician and all of that, if that was the case. But I want to note, and I see Priya Manichan is she loves to respond to comments altogether, and people were basically blasting that aspect. That why does it have to be that you gotta go back to when something you are here now?
2 years now.
You are spending the money. You are utilizing the biggest budget ever spent in a four set of oil monies the country ever saw. You are there in that seat. How dare you try to go back for everything and make excuses? And what was sad, and I have to say this, what was sad and basically unacceptable is what one of the comments that she wrote, right? And she was saying that as soon as, and I think she said, wanted to say soon as, but she had it together. So I tried to separate it. As soon as I became aware of it, work began and finished today. But then she went on to say, sadly, the people's children were exploited by your party for a protest. She was responding to somebody, and I want to say absolute trash, rubbish altogether for that comment, right? The people decided to go there and protest.
The parents.
No aspect of politicizing was there. The people had enough. The women, they were very, very serious in what they were saying. They expressed themselves very seriously. You can hear the emotion in their voice that it is hard for them to keep up with what is being required of them when it comes to this online learning and all of that. And they made us the points very profoundly that if it were another school, it would not have been the same situation. There was no aspect of a political party organizing no protest there. So shame on Priya Manichan for even suggesting that at this point in time. But when the people go out there and speak, it is our responsibility to amplify their voices and let it be heard. So how dare her take and try to water down the actual protest that was organized by those parents. They didn't call and say, we plan on going out to do a protest or anything like that. But when people are out there, we respond.
As a matter of fact, it's apparent, if Priya Manichan wants to listen, said she was the one who told the other parents vegan got to go there and protest.
Exactly. So shame on her. She
but
didn't
again,
retract that.
It's another testament that the only thing the people understand is protest. When you protest, you get issues fixed. But let me look at it from another standpoint, folks. Another standpoint. 3 weeks ago, if not 4, school reopened after the Easter term. And one would have thought that this is a period that is used to ensure that these buildings are conducive for learning. Clearly, that wasn't, because it's shocking people. But you articulated, Twitter, that you had ministry of, officials went there and didn't see no problem. But since that time, according to them, they're indicted by their own statement. According to them,
They fixed
since
stuff.
then, they fixed metal conduits. They're now covered.
The fixing problems
Since
that
then,
weren't there.
that weren't there. They fixed a fuse box that had to be changed. Since then, right? But the school was declared good for opening. They fixed the metal, the fuse box. This is their statement I'm reading, and the issues that they said that they fixed. They fixed the fuse box. That has now been changed. The water pump has been relocated from the panel room.
You could believe that.
The water pump has been relocated from the panel room. But that wasn't a problem before. Everything is nice. They went and said, me know how we are got in shock. But in their statement, they said we fixed the water pump. It has been relocated from the panel room. 4, the duplex and wiring system in the auditorium now runs in conduits. Right? Even it got before, why rectify it? AC condenser has been elevated.
I think number 9
right?
is the most important.
The repositioned panels have been mounted on a smooth surface. The lighting fixture under the concrete roof have been relocated. Right? The earthing on the southern building wiring system and installation of sub-main have been completed. And this could open before, Right? Number 9, the earthing of panel systems have been completed.
But nobody couldn't have got shocked. That was a lie. But there wasn't earthing.
And the list goes on, we come to the end of the list here.
Listen, this is
2 50-kilowatt transformers, or KVA volt transformers. Let me call it like that. That's what I have it. KVA transformer installed. Shelving of panels in main panel room have been completed. What? A structure has been constructed to prevent unauthorized access to the pigtail connection. Right? And they got still issues outstanding to fix a leaking concrete roof in the building. What? And the school open? And to fix the drainage. What? And this school, with all of this, was declared good for our students to go back to. Right? All systems go. Reopen school after COVID.
But it goes to show, just like what you said, the only thing that they know to respond to is persons out there literally screaming at them. They don't.
So they can tell me they inherited the drains that needed cleaning 2 years ago. Right? After you never clean the drains, and then 2 years now, and they didn't clean the same drains. That's 2017 problem. And all these other stuff. That's where we are.
We probably
but the school had no problem. The school had no problem. It's the opposition mechanized. You see that? The parents ain't got nothing to protest about.
Yeah.
It's the opposition.
Yep.
Right? They ain't got nothing to protest about. But we fix all these, 15, 16, 17 problems at the school. And the majority of which is electrical related. But it is the opposition got them out there protesting. Not love of the children being in a safe environment got them out there. It's the opposition. They're being used by the opposition. Priya, take several seats, please.
Yeah. But basically what she's saying, that even if persons are out there protesting, once opposition members show up to support, then it automatically becomes the opposition has people there protesting.
Yeah.
That's
if Queen's College had one of these problems, you understand me? Where some of the children go, it would have been shut down to fix. 1, you got a whole list here. A whole list of 17 odd problems. And you want people trying to go and sit down in that and be comfortable. Y'all disgusting, man.
Well, with all that, I think that Priya Manchan was completely out of line with that comment. Completely out of line. She needs to retract those statements. It is a blatant lie altogether.
We need to retreat and retract from the Ministry and Minister of Education.
Don't try. It is her attempt to water down the fact that people are speaking out, and it's not going to work. It's not going to pass. I'm not going to just scroll past it as though it didn't happen. The parents decided to go out there. Kudos to those parents,
Respect
kudos
and manners.
to those parents that
Pay some
out
power.
there.
Respect and manners.
And the results was seen.
Yeah.
The results of it was seen.
Everything on the PP got protested.
And guess what? Kudos to Sheriff Duncan also for making himself available to amplify the voices of those
That's what we do here. We amplify voices.
But once you're on the ground, apparently you organize it. Jag, you said the agenda. and all of that.
Except,
these are the people that we're dealing with on a daily basis. But better will come.
Yeah.
And that's why we're here.
That's our time, folks. Make we look nice with the shares. Make we look nice with the emoji. Smash that emoji. And of course, partner with us. You know, we got several platforms available, all for your convenience. We got Cash App, we got PayPal, Zelle, MMG, available via MoneyGram, by Western Union as well. For keep the work going, folks. Pace and power to stay out here, keeping you guys informed with valid and credible information always. Thanks for joining us. There are hundreds of you who showed up for our broadcast this morning. Thanks for coming through. Rock and come in at 12, folks, for our podcast. It's been a joy having you guys here this morning.
And most definitely, it's always a pleasure to be here with you guys. And tomorrow we're going to be back again. And tomorrow we should be having a special guest. You'll want to drop in for that one. Tomorrow we should be having a special guest on with us. And so I encourage you to be early and all of that. We'll be here doing. We
start early. Happy Independence.
Yes.
Pace and power. Boots on the ground. We ain't back, you know. Guys, we got Cash App, PayPal, Zelle, MMG. MoneyGram, Western Union. You want to know how? You need some additional information. 627-6963 is our MMG number as well as our WhatsApp number. 627-6963. Good to see you, Denise Mitchell, Susan Washington, Vanessa, Troya, Anne-Marie Roberts. Good to see you, Anne-Marie. I haven't seen a little bit. Margaret Nelson. Good to see you too. Denise Champagne. Is it Collision? Good to see you. Fancy names. Crisis Bingo Board. Good to see you guys. Have a great day. Pace and power. That's it.
That's it, guys. Have a blessed day. That's all I'm going to say.